Hey girl, it ain't nothing but a podcast. Whose podcast, you ask? Well, the answer to that question, lovely lady, is Wax. It's Wax's podcast, and it is Wax's podcast episode 105. Sounds like a lot. But if you compare yourself to others, which is a very bad thing to do, it's not good to compare yourself to others. You should only be competitive with the last thing you did. You know? Life isn't this big competition. You shouldn't measure yourself and how you fare against others unless you play sports for a living or some shit like that. Anywho, if I were to compare myself with other people that do podcasts, there are many people out there that started podcasting at a later date than moi. Than myself, if you don't know what moi means. Many people started a podcast later, already way past episode 105. And you know what? That's fine. Let me ask you this. Let me ask them this. Are their podcasts as intriguing as Wax's podcast? Are their podcasts as professionally run as Wax's podcast? Do their podcasts sound as crispy as Wax's podcast? Are their podcasts as informative when it comes to Wax as Wax's podcast? Do their podcasts have Wax-related information? Do their podcasts have Wax's thoughts and stories about Wax's life? Didn't think so. Did not think so. So to anybody out there that says that I'm lazy, you may be right, but you know what? That's who I am. And as another year has passed by and we enter into this journey of 2016, I am here to tell you that I accept myself for who I am. I have my faults. I have my flaws. Although I haven't smoked a cigarette or drank one sip of alcohol since New Year's Eve. That'd be what, 12 days? Something like that, 11 or 12 days. When you strip all that away, I become irritable at times, but I am who I am. And you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and you get to a certain point in your life where you realize that there's some things about yourself that are just yourself. I can't change who I am. I can't take a piece of structural steel and bend it to make it a different shape all of a sudden when it's been melded over the years into the fucking formation that it is. I don't know what that really means, but I think you understand the metaphor. What I'm saying is, I am who I am. And as you get older, it's hard. You become more and more of who you are. And to all of a sudden switch, as we all want to do in January, it's very difficult. That said, I have made some changes. But my changes are usually temporary, and I accept that that's the way that I am. I'm not going to drink this entire month of January. I'm sobering up. I'm seeing the light. I'm feeling the emotions that I was trying to repress or suppress or whatever word that is. I guess that's why I drink so much. I don't know. That's just a guess. Because I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel. And the problem is, I'm happy. I'm happy these days. I haven't always been happy, but recently I've been happy. And if you're drinking to suppress your emotions, you're probably suppressing a lot of happy emotions. In the past couple of days, weeks, I've been feeling them. Been feeling good. But it is funny to me how everybody gets into this like early January go-getter attitude vibe. Like the first week of January, I got emails from people that hadn't emailed me since, early 2012 and shit or whatever. People haven't emailed me in a long time. And they're like, hey, just catching up. Wanted to see if you're still interested in doing this. We're really trying to go hard this year. And I was kind of making fun of those people that I got those emails from in my head. But then I realized, I was kind of sending those same emails. I've already been doing some shit this year. Been knocking stuff out the park. Just got back from a shoot for my series Chain Reaction, which I'm working on season 2. If you're not familiar with that, I did a I don't know what you'd call it, a web series late 2015 called Chain Reaction. The reason it's called that is because I react to chain restaurants. It's a food review show where I only review chain restaurants, and I've already shot 3 episodes for season 2. Season 1 was only 5 episodes. I plan to double that for season 2. I'm having a couple people help me, and I want to do 10 episodes for season 2. It's fucking easy to shoot. So I should be done that shit within the next couple weeks, and then I'll start putting them out. So that should be fun. That's one of my goals, is to be a host of dumb TV shows where I can make my bad jokes, my fatherly puns, and not have to work a regular job. That's really the goal, right? Been doing that for 6 years. Let's keep that going. Knock on wood. Even when not only did I stop drinking for the last 2 weeks, been going to the gym a few times, been eating moderately healthy aside from the chain reaction show, where I'm pretty much forced to eat unhealthily because I'm eating at these chain restaurants and giving my opinion on them. I've been eating pretty healthy, and I've been going to the gym a few times, and I have that. What I like to say is that the guy inside of my head, the little voice inside of my head, is on his January shit too. And he's a funny dude, that little guy that lives inside my head. I was on the treadmill at the gym, and I'd like to get on. This time I wanted to be on there for an hour, and I got down to a half an hour. And what happens when you're tired and lazy, getting old, out of shape? You go for the hour, but once it starts dwindling down to a half an hour, you start to get those thoughts in your head where you're like, well, half an hour is pretty good, Half an hour is pretty good. I did come to the gym, burn some calories, burned off maybe half of that cheeseburger from In-N-Out I had that I just reviewed. So that's what happens in your brain. But in January, my brain, it doesn't act like a college football coach and give that whole, like, come on, man, let's do this. Turn up that fucking metal. Turn the metal up. Turn that DMX song up. And just fucking use the emotion that's conveyed in that metal song that you're listening to and tough it out. Tough it out like CrossFit. Tough it out. Come on, Mike. Let's do this. Tough it out. No, my brain's not like that. The voice inside of my head actually plays little psychological games with me. Instead of being that guy, the way it tries to fucking fool myself into being inspirational to myself is that the voice starts to go, what kind of man are you? Are you the kind of fucking man that gives up? Is that what you do with your life? You're just going to give up right in the middle? You had a goal and you're just going to fucking not see it through all the way? Okay, just do that for the rest of your life. Take that attitude into all the other facets of your life. Is that what you've done previous? Is that why you're not further than you should be in your career? Because that's just inherently the kind of fucking man you are? That's how my inner voice works. It's like a negative reinforcement psychologist trainer. That's how it works. So it kind of basically what that kind of motivation does, it doesn't get you to the finish line, but it gets you to 50 minutes. It takes you from 30 to 50. So that actually works pretty good for the it doesn't work for the football analogy because 60 minutes. So it's really taking you, it like gets me the field goal. Let's put it, if it was a football analogy, my inner negative reinforcement psychologist trainer, he doesn't get me in the end zone, but he does get me the field goal. I apologize to my international podcast listeners who have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about if I were to make a baseball or football reference, but to relate it to you, if they were playing cricket, he hits it with the paddle and then runs around, but he doesn't run as far as he should. Or if you're from Australia, he bounces the ball on the ground but doesn't kick it through the thing enough to make the guy in the white hat come out and make some kind of hand signal. Or if you are from, I can't think of another international sport that Americans don't understand. We know soccer here. Soccer is very easy to understand. American rules football is a weird fucking sport to explain to somebody who's not native of to watching it just from an early age. It's a really complicated game. Like basketball is pretty simple. Soccer and hockey are very simple. Baseball is pretty fucking complicated. I don't know which one's more complicated to explain, baseball or football, but both are pretty weird sports. Yeah. So sports analogies aside, I'm feeling that January feeling. I'm feeling that January feeling. You know, that motivational feeling. I've got that go-getter feeling, but then it's gone, gone, gone. Whoa, in February. And February goes away. And then you go to Valentine's Day, and you sit on your ass and eat chocolate with your snookums. Then it gets to fucking St. Patrick's Day, and you rage. And all the Catholics forget about Lent right around that time. And they try to get it back until after Easter. Then Cinco de Mayo comes, and it's all fucking downhill from there until you get to the lowest low, which is 4th of July, where you're out on the beach or on somebody's backyard, and you're fucking shotgunning beers, pounding fucking Jack Daniels, almost blowing your hand off with firecrackers. And then you wake up on July 5th and say, I may be a proud American, but I'm not proud of myself. Then all of a sudden, it's Labor Day. Same old. And you're thinking, I should improve. I should get better. I should do better with my life. And it's in your mind, but you're like, you know what? I'm going to do that after Halloween, because Halloween, is all the girls are dressed up in their slutty costumes. So I'll wait till after then to really clean my act up. And then it ends. Halloween falls on a Monday this year, so the party isn't even until after that. So it's already practically mid-November by the time your Halloween festivities end and you're cleaning up the smashed pumpkins off of your lawn. By the time you clean it all up, you're tired. So you have yourself a little Oktoberfest fall time ale to relax, and then as soon as you open your eyes, it's Thanksgiving, and you're getting shit-faced with your family and friends. After that, December, you're drinking eggnog, you're drinking whatever Jews drink for Hanukkah, whoever drinks for Kwanzaa, because I don't think that's even actually a African holiday. That was invented in America. I don't know if it involves drinking. What do you drink for Christmas? Eggnog, of course, just like Jesus did in that fucking manger. You know that? Eggnog is in the Bible. Gold, frankincense, myrrh, and eggnog. The fourth wise man drank so much fucking eggnog that he didn't make it to the manger, and that's why he's not actually acknowledged in that chapter of the Bible. But if you look up Leviticus 75, he was there. Leviticus 76, it was too fucked up. So Christmas goes by, and all through December, you've already given up. You're just like, I'm letting it all go. I'm loosening my belt. I'm destroying my liver and just letting it go. January Well, December 31st comes and you're like, you know what? This is my last hurrah of the year. It's my last hurrah. I'm giving myself the opportunity to express my rage and when I say rage, I don't mean anger. I mean raging as in partying. I want to express my rage the best way I know how, which is through drugs and alcohol. And I'm going to have one last hurrah. And you know what? After that, I'm a new man. I'm going to change the core of who I am. I'm going to dig down deep inside of myself. Dig out that fucking old charcoal of a core. Throw it away and replace it with a new shining light of responsibility, sobriety, and all-around good-naturedness. But not till tomorrow. Hey, you know what? Not even tomorrow. It's just second. Because on January 1st, we're going to drink some Bloody Marys, mimosas, screwdrivers, and other morning beverages until we pass out at approximately 8 p.m. Then January 2nd, I'm changing everything. January 2nd, everything changes. And that's what happens. And then the whole month of January, you're a new man. Everybody is. You walk down the street, people are jogging. Not the kind of people you see jogging in November. The kind of people you see jogging in November are the kind of people that really don't need to be jogging. They're the kind of people that are trying to get their body fat index from, I don't really know what the numbers are that are good, but they're trying to get the 8-pack. They already got a 6-pack and they're going for 8. Those are the people that jog in November. The people that are jogging in January, they're just trying to make that thing look like any kind of pack whatsoever, because right now it just looks like looks more like a fucking, there's no, I didn't want to be stereotypical and say a 30-pack or a keg, but is there anything that alcohol comes in that just looks like a big fucking raft / whoopee cushion full of, like a big high C, like an enormous Capri Sun, sorta. That's all you look like, these January joggers. But, you know, the first couple weeks of January, you go to the gym, it's fucking packed. Huge people in there sweating their asses off, looking motivated. There was a woman in there, the other day I went to the gym. There's a woman in front of me on an elliptical. She was overweight, and she was fucking into it, man. She had her headphones on. I don't know what she was listening to, but I'm guessing it was Taylor Swift or something like that. Something that late 30, early 40-year-old women listen to that makes them think about their youth. So it was either something like Taylor Swift or it was like early 90s Janet Jackson or Madonna that actually took her back to her youth. Whatever it was, she was going crazy, man. She was sweating to the oldies like that old Richard Simmons commercial. She looked like Richard Simmons would have been in front of her. She looked like a person. She looked like the spirit animal of somebody who was in a Thai Bo by Billy Blanks, or to modernize it, that weird-ass hip-hop dancing thing with Shaun T. Every generation has a new person like that. Every generation has a new version of the person on TV that sells workout videos, don't they? There was Richard Simmons. I think before that was Jane Fonda. Then there was Billy Blanks. I think now the guy is Shaun T. So he does some weird-ass hip-hop dance thing. And this lady was doing her own hip version of a hip-hop dance. And it was pretty impressive that she was doing all this dancey shit with her hands while being on this elliptical. And her, her like armpit fat was shaking to the rhythm. It was cool. It was cool. She was into it. But let's see what happens in March. Let's see if she's still marching to the beat in the month of March. I'd actually like to see the numbers of like 24-hour fitness. like the year-round accounting numbers. I'd specifically like to see new memberships and when people cancel their memberships. I'd like to see the numbers of just January, just 12 numbers, one number per month. 2 numbers per month. One number, how many people got a membership, and the other number, how many people canceled their membership. I think canceled memberships, I mean, obviously gotten memberships is going to be a landslide victory for January. I think canceled is about April. February, you stop. January, you go hardcore. February, you kind of stop going. March, you don't go at all, but you're not, but your mind is still like, well, but I'm going to go. I'm still going to go. I think by April, most people just realize, like, okay, I'm not going to go anymore. And this is a waste of my money. Money that I could be using to purchase alcohol, cigarettes, and cheeseburgers. That could be interesting to see the overall gross domestic output of dollars on cheeseburgers total. I'd like to see the same number. Just one number per month. Not even the total. I want to see average per person. So whatever the total amount of money spent on cheeseburgers in the United States divided by how many people live in the United States, that average, it's not really an average. Yeah, it is an average. I want to see that. I also want to see, just for my own curiosity, I want to know who the person is that spends the most on cheeseburgers. The person in America who spends the most money per year on cheeseburgers, how many cheeseburgers do they eat per day? That's what I want to know. There's, 400 million people in America. There's approximately the same amount of restaurants where you can get a cheeseburger. For real, how many cheeseburgers does the person in the entire world who consumes the most cheeseburgers, how many do they eat per day? 10? I don't know. I bet you they consume 10 cheeseburgers in a day, then the next day they have like 6 pizzas. And then the next day they do another 10 cheeseburgers, so it ends up averaging out to 5. But I don't know. Maybe there's somebody who just likes ground beef and cheese and buns that much that it's an everyday thing. Maybe there's somebody that likes pizza and cheeseburgers so much that every day they have a pizza with cheeseburgers as a topping on it. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. I really don't know. But speaking of pizza and cheeseburgers, like I said earlier in the show, my show Chain Reaction will be coming back in February. And I think it's going to be funny, man. I think it's going to be some funny shit. There's actually been a lot of positive things happening with that show. If I haven't, I think I told you on the podcast, but that show is actually on television. It's part of a show called Explicit Language, which you can watch on the FM network. I think it comes on usually on Monday nights. So look it up on your cable programming or whatever. Dude, there's so many fucking ways to entertain yourself these days. Every video on YouTube and Vimeo and whatever other sites, Pornhub, shit. But we have at our house, we have cable television, which has like literally like 1,000 channels. We have HBO Go, which has like mad movies, mad TV shows. We have Netflix, which has a million things you can watch. We have every video on YouTube. We have every fucking album ever made at our fingertips on Spotify. Every book on audible.com, or I don't know where people buy books for Kindle and whatever the fuck. I guess you could also go. There's also old school shit. You can still go to a store, get a book. Go to a newsstand, get a magazine or a newspaper. These are still things that exist and still ways you can entertain yourself. You can always go talk to another human being. You can always go sit in a park and look at the trees and watch the joggers coming by. I don't know. It's just too many ways to entertain yourself for people to be out here saying that they're bored. That I don't get. You're bored? The information is endless. The potential for learning does not have any type of horizon, metaphorically. Just keep walking. You will never fall off a cliff. You will only keep walking up the mountain and never reach the mountaintop. I don't know if I'm trying to sound deep. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Let's go to some questions and shout outs. All right. Back. Let me get this fucking little noise out of here. There it goes. All right. Questions and shout outs. Before I get into questions and shout outs, I have my little I told you I'm feeling inspired in January. Let me give you a little word of advice before I get into questions and shout outs. It's about haters, man. Whether they be people in your life that are real and next to you that you can see and reach out and touch, such as your friends and family. But more importantly for me right now, and as far as the way that I'm saying this and the way that I feel, more importantly, people on the internet that are anonymous and that are often 13 years old and often just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. My years of experience have led me to this bit of advice. Don't listen to any of these people, because why are they talking like that in the first place? And this, forget what I just said. My point is, no matter what you do, there's going to be somebody that's going to tell you that you ain't doing it right. You work at McDonald's, somebody's going to tell you the fries ain't done right. You work at a corporate job, somebody's going to tell you that you didn't make the copies right. If people even still make copies at corporate jobs, seems like a waste of paper when everything should be digital. If you worked at a restaurant in the back, you cook a steak medium rare, somebody's going to tell you that it's not medium rare, even though you're the chef and you know goddamn well it's medium rare, and they should have ordered medium if they didn't want it that rare. Somebody's always going to be talking shit. So what you got to do is say, fuck them. Isn't that an amazing piece of advice that you've never heard anyone say? I can't remember who prompted me. Somebody said something real fucking dumb to me on the internet recently. I can't remember what it was. It's something about my music or my album or something. Of course, I get a lot of hate on my album. People think it's not enough. Like, I don't know what people think about it, but you got to do what you want, man. You got to do it for you. That's just whatever. Everything I just said was dumb, man. In a sense, it was just stuff that you don't need me to tell you. Stuff that you should be able to gather yourself. Anyway, we got shout outs. We got Zechariah M. We got, is this the newest one of these? This is it, right? Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure this is the newest version. Sometimes I answer these things not in, yeah, this is it. All right, we got Zechariah M. We got my man, Geoff. Geoff recommends a documentary on Netflix called Call Me Lucky. And Geoff, you'll be happy to know that I actually took your advice and watched that documentary, and I would go right along with you there, Geoff, and recommend it too. It's about this comedian who had a really interesting comic style and had some interesting things happen to him, and I don't know. It was really, really good documentary. It was really dope, and I appreciated Geoff. I enjoyed myself watching it. It was cool, inspirational, really interesting. You know what? One of my favorite parts of it, Geoff, was when they. I don't want to fucking have any spoilers. I don't know if it's a spoiler, but I'll just say this: when the Congress guys during that time period keep talking about how they're like, you can ask my daughter. I'm just computer illiterate. I have no idea what's going on with this online stuff. I thought that part was really telling, especially considering there's still people that are in our government that have that same exact attitude to this day. Thought it was interesting. All right. Ben M. The Holden brothers. My man, Ed from Chicago. What's up, Ed? Jackie Sweetleaf. What's up, Jackie? Sweetleaf. I don't know why you got to say things twice and then pronounce it that way. Jackie Sweetleaf. What's up, Jackie? Sweetleaf. All right, we got Aaron the violinist. We got the homie Rain E. It'd be funny if your last name was Day, huh? Rain E. Day. And somebody was like, I'm saving this one for a rainy day. That's what a girl would say about her vagina or her virginity. Your girlfriend, your Christian girlfriend that you started dating and you're trying to fuck. She's like, I'm saving this for a rainy day. Wait, that doesn't make sense because if you're him, that'd be what she said to the dude before that she didn't let get the pussy. Then she gave it to you. I don't know why I said that like I was Bill Cosby. And it was a bad impression anyway. CJR. We got Cordless with a Kordlyss. Classic hip-hop fashion in which to spell your name. We got Tara M. We got Puya from Iran, who recommends the rapper Prof. A lot of people have been recommending Prof. I got to check out Prof. I don't know anything about that person. We got Terrell the hockey player, a.k.a. Terrell the Cell, a.k.a. Terrell from Hell. And that's actually because I remember, Terrell, I remember last time I was pronouncing your name like Daryl, like Terrell, because I couldn't remember. I know that whatever way I initially said it, which I would think that I would initially say Terrell. I don't know. I've met Terrells before, but I've never met Terrells before, but I'm pretty sure. I thought that you had told me that I was pronouncing it wrong, and I was saying whatever it was, I thought I was wrong. But if you're saying Terrell the Cell and Terrell from Hell, it can't be Terrell from Hell and Terrell the Cell. That'd be crazy. If you was like that, you'd be like Terrell the Sterile. Terrell the Wheelbarrow. Terrell the Barrel of Laughs. Anyway, Ryan F. from Youngstown, Ohio. We got Joe R. from Fork Tongues, FORKTUNGZ, another classic hip-hop spelling, wrong spelling, hip-hop wrong spelling. Something about that phrase is interesting. Classic hip-hop wrong spelling. Tory wrong spelling, sounds like Pippi Longstocking, but Tory spelling, another old reference, Tory wrong spelling. That is his SoundCloud name, the Fork Tongues. And it says it here in my little parentheses I made for myself. He makes dope music. So I can't remember what it sounded like. Unfortunately, y'all, I get a lot, whether it be, because now I actually check my Facebook messages sometimes, and I sometimes check my Twitter. I got multiple email addresses, and I get a lot of people sending me music. So sometimes I forget what it was, but in this case, I know it was good. I wrote a note for myself that it was good, so check them out. We got Joey from Dunkirk, Maryland, the same town from which I hail. We got Jack D from Westchester, Pennsylvania, an interesting town. What the fuck was the name of that venue I played at in Westchester? The main venue in Westchester. What I mainly remember about it is that there's no bathroom backstage. You can only go to the bathroom out in the crowd. And, inevitably, if it's your show and you go out in the crowd, people are going to be like, hey, man, what are you doing? And I remember going out there and people were like, dude, what people being confused that I'd be out in the crowd. But I had to shit, which made it even weirder because people were there to see me. And they're like, oh, he's the guy where he's the headlining act. It's supposed to be supposed to have the curtains open and he'd come out with a grand entrance. I just saw him taking a shit. I just saw him taking a shit in the bathroom. There's not really anything grand about him. You could just say that they really pulled the curtains back on that one. Am I right? All right, we got summoned to be pro. One word. I think that was just his email address, and I said it because he didn't have a name on his email. Summoned to be pro. We got Robert F. Angelo the Banjo. He wants T-Rex back on the podcast. He wants T-Rex back on the podcast. So unlike Amanda from Maryland, who maybe 10 or 20 episodes ago said she not too fond of T-Rex. Unlike her, Robert F. Angelo, the Banjo, wants T-Rex back on the podcast. So I hang out with that motherfucker all the time. So I'll get him back on here ASAP. We got Dom the Bomb. Get it? Dom the Bomb. What year was it with the phrase "the bomb" was the most popular? Yeah, that shit was the bomb. I mean, it definitely was a long time ago because at the intro, on the intro to the Nothing But a G Thing video, I think it was the Nothing But a G Thing video, the girl goes to Snoop and said, it goes to Dre and said, I heard your album was the bomb. So definitely at least fucking close to 30 years ago. Then people shorten it to bomb. Hey man, those burritos are bomb. Not the bomb. The bomb sounded too old, I suppose. Now if you were like, man, that shit was bomb, people be like, what? Yeah, that party was bomb. I guess it makes sense that the aftermath of the bomb would be that it was lit. All right, man. I need to stop making word puns that are like I don't know. I think that awful word puns that are meant to be awful, for some reason they're funny and fun to me, and I think I'm starting to overuse them on my Chain Reaction show. I said something with eggs today. I went to IHOP and we did a show at IHOP. Spoiler alert. I said something like that. Exactly, or to the extreme, or extremely, or so, I can't remember. I can't remember what I said, but some dumb shit like that. And I had an epiphany at that time. I was like, dude, I gotta stop saying word puns so much. But I just think like that. I'm constantly thinking of word. Like I don't know, man. I'm a rapper. I'm constantly thinking of stupid shit like that. All right, we got Carl, Sammy Ali, Brendan from Tulsa, who recommends Michael Christmas and the movie Whiplash. We got Zach B. We got Mark the Grass Cutter from Louisville. And last but not least, we got Jack Mama. Those are the shout-outs for today. I got two different emails. One from David M. Jr. and one from Grant C. Grant C. says, Big Wax, you propane bitch. Kind regards, Grant C. David M. says, subject of the email is propane grill. Body of the email is how womanly of you. Bye. And then it says, read this on the podcast. THX. Can't even say a full thanks. That's how fucking short he wanted the insult to be of me using a propane grill. Well, you know what? I've been enjoying the fuck out of my propane grill. I've been making mad shit while you're out there waiting for the charcoal to light up. You fucking purist. I'm not a purist, man. I don't even know where that charcoal comes from. Although there was a really interesting, somewhere in Africa, there was a government organization that was actually they had a problem with human shit, like just sewage disposal. There wasn't really a place to put it. And I think pretty much every first and third world country has that same problem. And supposedly you can turn human waste into charcoal. And they were showing that they do it and they'd sell it and people would use it. You cooking chicken over it. Now, granted, it's a little gross, but I think in the future, when everything's starting to melt in New York and Los Angeles and all the sides of all the continents are underwater and we're all moved to the middle, Like, you can just picture that. Everybody fucking moves towards the center of the country. Then the center of the country is just packed with people who don't have any food, don't have any resources. Then all of a sudden making charcoal out of your shit so you can cook something to eat. Doesn't seem so gross after all, does it? We're very, very spoiled. We live in the age of human beingness where we're the most spoiled we've ever been. And that could change in a fucking second. It could change in a heartbeat. With a couple atomic bombs, with a meteor crash, with a worldwide economic collapse, I'd imagine some fucked up shit could go down. Combine that with a fucking earthquake here and there. All right, whatever, man. This is Rochelle from Richmond, Virginia. She said, Wax, saw that you are into stand-up now. Who is your fave comedian at the moment? Favorite special? Big thanks. Favorite comedian at the moment? I mean, I like all the I've always liked Chris Rock, and I like the new, I love Bill Burr. I like the new, popular people. Louis C.K. and Bill Burr and fucking, I like Gerard Carmichael, Hannibal Buress. Just the one the person that I really like is right now is Gary Goldman. I might have said his shit. He's got a joint on Netflix called In This Economy, with a question mark. And the first give it the first 10 minutes if you might be turned off by his whole Netflix blockbuster thing, but I wasn't. I thought it was funny because I like when people throw in stupid shit too, and he starts his special off with really easy to digest shit, and most of his shit actually is really, really easy to digest, which goes against, usually the comedians I like are the ones that kind of give you a real deep insight into who they are and how they feel about the world, where Gary Goldman doesn't always do that. He has a lot of just kind of dumb observation shit, but his special that's on Netflix right now I fucking love, man. Love that shit. I love that Morgan Murphy one on there too. Girl named Morgan Murphy. I don't remember what her special's called. I could see how people would be easily turned off by her too, but give her a chance. Watch the whole thing. Those are my two comedian recommendations for the day, and there's just people on Netflix. I'm not necessarily the dude that that has oh my god, I have a favorite and that idolizes people. When I used to listen to music, I wasn't the kind of person that would be a super fan of somebody and buy all their albums. I'd hear somebody was good and I'd buy one of their albums, and if I liked it, I'd just listen to that album a million times and I'd move on to another artist. So for example, I loved the Tribe Called Quest, but I really just mostly listened to Midnight Marauders a million times. I mean, I've heard all their other albums, but it's not like I bought everything because I loved them. I just didn't. My tastes don't work like that. I don't become a super fan of people. So, all right. We got Noah from Cali who says, "What's your favorite food?" I would say, Noah, every day it changes, and I think that a lot of us are like that. It's kind of whatever you're craving at the time. Sometimes I'll be craving sushi. I love, 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 love just raw salmon sushi. That's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. But it's not like it's not like if I'm hungry in the middle of the day, I just want to eat a fucking pound of it. You know what I mean? I like Mexican food a lot. A good burrito. Nothing beats that. I used to have a taco spot. When I first moved to LA, there was a taco spot called Al Pastor right by my crib. And that's where I really, really got into just pastor in general. Pastor is I guess barbecued pork, sort of. Not really I don't know how you describe it. It's just fucking flavored pork that you put in burritos and tacos. That shit's my shit. But you know what? I would have to say my favorite food is barbecued chicken. I think that's my favorite food. Because as far as if I had to eat something forever, I think that's what it would be. As you can tell, I'm not a vegetarian. If I had to pick my favorite food that's not meat, my favorite food that's meat is probably bacon. But I don't want to eat bacon 3 meals a day. I'd rather eat barbecue chicken 3 meals a day. But when it comes to vegetables, I like peppers and onions, a medley of them. I like corn. I like fucking everything. Only things I don't like is olives. That's the only shit that I won't eat. All right, we got my man B Willis. B Willis checking into the podcast with an email. Dude, you were always fucking sick. But hey, B Willis understands, and for those of you who don't realize, he's not talking about, dude, your album is sick. He's talking about me actually being sick with like medical issues. B Willis understands because I too used to be sick as fuck. Here is the secret. Vitamin C. Massive amounts of vitamin C. I like Ester C gummies. 1,000 milligrams each. I eat 4 of those some bitches a day. I'm never fucking sick. Try that shit. Thank me later. Propane sucks. Herbs is going to throat punch you for using that shit. Peace. Hey, man. I'm calling him out, man. Herbal tea, propane user. He's got a family to feed. He doesn't have time to waste, you know. It's a time-saving thing. We all like charcoal better. B. Willis, don't get me wrong. As I said when I initially introduced the podcast listeners to the fact that I just bought this propane grill, I like charcoal better just like anybody does, taste-wise. The way that the heat is distributed throughout the grill in an even fashion. Of course I like charcoal better. But if I'm here by myself and I want to cook myself one thing, I don't really feel like being like, I'm going to be hungry in 2 hours. I'm hungry now. As far as the vitamin C, the only time I really do the whole like consume a shitload of vitamin C thing is when I'm on tour. I'll be eating those vitamin C, what are they called? What are those things called? The packets. Emergency, the ones that you put in, you mix with water and just make like vitamin C water. I'll be eating those, doing those on tour. It's really, even with that, on tour, it is very easy to get sick. Everybody gets sick a lot on tour, like especially if you're partying and shit. But even if you're not, you're just traveling so much and you're around all these germs. And if it's wintertime, it's even worse. But I'll try to take your advice, man. Eating those gummies every day. I guess the way to do it is just to make it part of your routine. Just put that shit next to your toothpaste. And every time you pick up the toothpaste, pick up the gummies. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, B. Willis. And I think everybody else who might be listening to this appreciates your advice as well. All right. This week there's a couple questions that are from aspiring musicians who are at 2 different levels. The one I'm about to read is the first one. This first one is from somebody that's at this level. Yo, man, I'm a high school rapper in Chicago named Jake the Human. I've been a huge fan ever since 7th grade. I actually first heard of you from Orphan Tears. Still want to see... All right. I appreciate the praise, man. Anyway, I'm a rapper in the very beginning stages of trying to pursue his music career. I only have 2 songs on SoundCloud. Check it out if you find time. I'm the one with the cartoon avatar for the profile pic. I looked for it and it says you're a rapper. The only Jake the Human I found was like an EDM DJ, and I swear to God. Well, I'm not going to swear to God. I mean, whatever, but swear to whatever you want to swear. But if I remember correctly, because I answered this email 5 days ago-ish, there was somebody with a cartoon avatar that said Jake the Human that had 2 songs, and they were both like EDM instrumental songs. So I don't know if I was the wrong guy. I don't think I found you rapping on there. But you say, what advice would you have for someone who has very little money for studio time and knows nothing about building a studio, mixing, or any of the technical aspects of music, but just knows how to write nice rhymes and flow with the beat? So, first of all, Jake, the Human, you're in high school, man. So, you know, you're young. You're young, and there obviously are virtuosic people that in high school are just amazing and should already be on the mega stage of the fucking Grammys. You know, there's some people that are just born gifted, but most people got to work a little bit at it. So I think the thing for you to do is, you're probably in the right mind state right now. You say you're open with what you do and don't know. You don't know how to do mixing and building a studio. It's so funny how different everything is now. You know, back in the 80s and 90s, if you were a rapper, you didn't think you needed to know how to mix and build a studio. Like, everything has changed now, like with the whole like availability of technology. It used to be that if you were a rapper, you rapped and you tried to make a demo somehow. You'd have to say, and you wouldn't make it at your house or have to learn how to do it yourself. What you'd need is money for studio time. Oh, I guess you did say who has little money for studio time. I guess you did say that. Anyway, this is what I would recommend, man. Just keep writing and find some people. Try to find some people in your area that maybe either have a studio or maybe have some experience with mixing or at least recording. If you have a computer, which I'm assuming you do because you wrote me an email, that could have been on your phone or your parents' computers. I don't know. But if you have a computer, start utilizing the simplest of programs. Start with GarageBand or whatever program is deemed the most simple to record yourself with. You might have to save up for a microphone. Try to see if somebody will get it to you for your birthday or Christmas, a shitty microphone or an average or a decent microphone. Get a Shure SM58. That's a decent sounding microphone that you can get for $70, I think. Plug it into your do whatever you got to do, but if you just keep on putting time into getting better and better, it'll happen for you, or something will happen for you, or you'll have fun with it. I don't know. It's really all right. This is the bottom line, and this might actually be part of the answer to the next question. I can't remember what it is, but just keep on trying to get better, and you're going to keep on making songs, and you're going to keep on thinking they're pretty good even if they're not, and just keep going and going and going. You're going to fail and fail and fail. You're going to do whack shows and whack shows, some good shows, some good songs. You're going to have good things happen too, bad things, good things, bad things, good things. And eventually you'll either make it or you're not, and it all depends on how bad you want it. It's a combination of talent and how bad you want it, and I think how bad you want it actually trumps the talent part, because you have to just keep going, man. A lot of people don't blow up in whatever they're doing until they're 30 to even 50. I mean, it's a lot less common for a rapper to blow up at 50. But shit, 2 Chainz was 38. When he blew up, he went through a million things. He had 20 years under his belt minimum, more than that. 'Cause he started rapping when he was probably 12, 13. But he was in the game 20 years before anybody knew who the fuck he was. Had to go through the bullshit. And that made him able to triumph. Cats like Louis C.K. been in the game forever. Didn't really see their big break till their mid-40s. There's example after example after example of shit like that happening. And really what it is just how bad do you want it? I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna make it happen. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, if you need to know how to build a studio, go get the 44X module later 7 and do blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden you're gonna be killing it. The only thing I can tell you is fucking try hard. All right, this one is from Saint Jame. SoundCloud.com/SaintJame. Okay, for the So Wax, love the new album, man. Glad you're working on new shit. I appreciate that, man. As a musician, I've been having trouble getting listeners on my SoundCloud. I share my stuff on Facebook, but no one gives a damn. Some friends, right? I share on Instagram to catch people's attention, but I hardly have any followers on that too. I've been sitting on a bunch of new music and been releasing a track every week due to lack of response, I've been somewhat discouraged. The thing is, I know I'm good. I've done a bunch of live shows and open mics, and people tell me all the time how much they like what I do. But then when I tell them where to find me online, they forget, or they just actually don't care enough to push the damn button. This is also a letdown. The other day I was driving to work listening to my music, and I thought, what the fuck? This is actually pretty good. I'm proud of this, all ego bullshit aside. And it gave me a boost of confidence. I refuse to quit because I like what I do, period. Although, question, how do I get more people to hear my music? What kinds of platforms are there out there for me to get on blogs, music sites, whatever? On another note, I made the decision to move to LA with my very musical homie by early next year, so maybe we will have more luck in your area. P.S. Maybe you can recommend my music if you like what I do. I've already showed you some of my stuff in my previous email, but I've got new music up there by now, and I'm sure you most likely won't get to this email until the next few weeks. Stay classy. Well, I would recommend your music. I do like what you do. And if you want to hear St. James music, soundcloud.com/St. Jame. Not James, St. Jame, Jame. Oh, wait, is there an underscore? It might be underscore.com/St. Jame. I can't tell. But I think you'll find him. Now, there was a couple parts that you said. This is the first thing that sticks out is you're like, but then when I tell them to where find me online, they forget or they just actually don't care enough to push the damn button. That's an important thing. People don't care. Nobody cares, man. It's very hard to get people to care. People, I see people. I've been to shows. I see people. I'm like, if they, I'll be like, damn, you're good. Damn, I really liked that. I enjoyed that. That was great. I'm not looking for them on SoundCloud. I'm not going to buy their CD. To get somebody to really care, you have to blow people away. You have to really blow people away. Or, some people care when stuff becomes big, and some people care when people they know start telling them, you got to do this, you got to check this guy out, you got to do this. So it's all a matter of time. It's all a matter of turning people on one by one. Of course, some people can put out one thing and then a million people know who they are and they're good to go. But a lot of times that doesn't last very long. Like there's this dude right now, Slim Jesus. I don't know much about him, but he had this music video that made it so everybody knows who he is. Just one video. He's just some kid. He puts out a video. It blows up so big that everybody knows who he is. And he's just an interesting character. That said, I have a strange feeling that in 2 years, nobody will give a fuck about Slim Jesus. I have a strange feeling that that's going to be the case. I said it here first. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong a lot of times about things like that. The other thing that you said was, I refuse to quit, and that's all that I need to hear. That's what you got. That's the attitude you got to have, man. If you believe in yourself, like you said you did, you hear yourself and you think it's good, you're proud of yourself, and you refuse to quit and you just keep going, that's the best you can do, man. The best you can do for yourself is just not to give up and keep on doing what you do. And as you do that, you're going to get better and better and better and better. So leading to your actual question, how do I get more people to hear my music? What kind of platforms are there for blogs and music sites, whatever? I don't know. I don't pay attention to none of that shit. Them motherfuckers, every once in a while, they'll post one of my shits. Every once in a while, there's 2 Dope Boys and Rap Radar. And there's a bunch of other music websites. And a lot of them people, I'm not really one to know about that shit because my stuff is not deemed cool. And I get it. I'm not a hip artist. I'm not somebody that people consider quote unquote cool. So blogs and shit, they don't post my shit. But a lot of people that they do post, they'll do a show and nobody will go. They'll try to sell an album and nobody will buy it. They'll put out a t-shirt, ain't nobody gonna wear it. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how it is. You kind of have to reach out to your fans and do what you do and keep it honest. And then the shit it'll build from there. The problem is a lot of times it takes really, 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 really long time, especially in this day and age where every fucking person is a rapper and every fucking person got a video, every person got a SoundCloud. You got to do some amazing shit, man. Just being good. Maybe I was lucky because I got into the YouTube thing early, but being good at rapping, it's not good enough anymore, man. You either got to have an amazing song or you got to be amazing at rapping. Or you got to have something that people need. You got to have something that people relate to. Bottom line is you just got to keep on doing what you're doing and trying to get better. There's ways you can. There's people you can ask about the actual question that you asked me. There's just better people you can ask about that shit. Cause I need to be asking that shit my damn self. I need to get my shit out there more. I know that, if just to give you at least one example, this website Team Backpack, they posted my shit recently and it gained me a bunch more followers. And, I see people that they have a cipher series. They have various different ciphers that they do. So I'd recommend trying to get with them because they have a lot of followers. That's the only concrete example I can really give you off the top of my head of somebody that you should try to fuck with if you're a dope ass rapper, which you are. Your shit is dope. That's the only concrete example I can think of, man. And still, and that said, for some people, I can't. I apologize, Saint James. I can't remember exactly all your stuff. I listened to a couple of your joints, but maybe just keep on putting stuff out for a couple of years, and maybe 2 years from now, my point is this: I'm not, and this isn't just about you. This is for anybody, because I don't know if this applies to you. You're probably ready to do this now, but always remember that if you say you do go on Team Backpack, and there's fucking 50 people in the room, and then there's gonna be 1 million people at home watching it. If you do that shit, you better be fucking ready. Don't do that shit now when you should be doing it 3 years from now. Fucking get better, get your skills up, do shit yourself, do some videos yourself, and make sure you know what you're doing. Do shows as you're doing. Do shows, get in front of crowds, do all this shit first. Don't get out there and make your first exposure the only chance you're gonna get because you did some shit when you weren't ready yet. We all make that mistake. Every musician makes that mistake. Yeah. What the fuck am I talking about? I don't know. I never do. I never know what I'm talking about. I just keep going, rambling. Lord, I was born a rambling man. What the fuck is going on? Is this shit about to freeze up? This motherfucker about to freeze up? Better not be about to fucking freeze up. Something's wrong with my fucking shit here. I don't know. But I think that'll do it for me, y'all. Be safe out there.